Yes. Good morning, students. I'm Dr. Bala Ruby, Assistant Professor in the Department of Economics. So, students, in today's class, we are going to discuss about the concept of production. So, as far as this production is concerned, see, production in the sense just we are creating the utility. Why we are producing this product or what is the main purpose of this production means the main purpose is consumer. See why we are producing all these products. For example, a producer produces a mobile. Why he is producing this mobile? Because most of the customers needs this mobile. At the same time, accumulation of wealth. So they are producing some book because most of the consumers needs this book. So each and every production, the ultimate aim is consumption. At the same time, accumulation of wealth also. They are producing a machinery because they want to accumulate wealth. They want to produce any equipment or tool because they want to accumulate the wealth. This production process is not at all complete until a commodity reaches the final consumer. So when a commodity reaches the final consumer, then only this production process completes. Then this production mainly depends on the factors of production. Mainly, there are four factors of production. What are they? One is land, labor, capital, and organization. If you see the ownership, the owner of the land is considered as a landlord, owner of the labor is considered as a laborer, the owner of the capital is known as a capitalist, and the owner of the organization is considered as a entrepreneur. At the same time, if you see the remuneration, see, I am using your land. What is the remuneration you are receiving? The remuneration is rent. Similarly, I am using some other laborers' labor. For their work, I have to pay some wages. So, wage is the remuneration for the labor. Interest is the remuneration for capital. Profit is the remuneration for the organization. Now, let us discuss the main features of land, labor, capital, and organization. As far as this land is concerned, it is a free gift of nature. As a human being, we cannot produce this land because it is a free gift of nature. And if you see the supply also remains constant. We cannot increase the land capacity. We cannot produce any land because it is not a man-made product. And it is imperishable also because we cannot destroy this land because repeatedly we can use this land. Therefore, it is considered as imperishable. Then it is considered as a primary factor of production. How it is a primary factor of production? Because without land, we cannot produce any product. It may be even capital good or it may be any consumer good or any perishable product also. Without the help of this land, we cannot produce any product. Land is immovable. Is it possible to move our land from one place to another place? It is not possible. So, land is immovable. At the same time, land differs in fertility. So, fertility of one land is different from other land. So, on the basis of the fertility of the land only, we can produce some different products. Then, we are going to discuss about the main characters of labor. See, labor is a perishable product when compared to other factors of production. How it is perishable? Because labor is perishable because after 12 hours per day, the labor capacity will be totally exhausted. See, we can work a minimum 10 hours per day or 12 hours per day. After these 10 hours or 12 hours or 13 hours, what will happen? Our energy will be exhausted. So it is perishable than the other factors. It is considered as an active factor of production. Why this is an active factor of production? Because without this labor, we cannot produce any product. See, sometimes with the help of some machinery, we can produce some product. But at least we need a labor to operate this product. So labor is not it is an active factor of production. It is not a homogeneous factor. Why it is not a homogeneous product? Because your capacity may be different, another worker's capacity may be different, your friend's capacity may be different. So the efficiency of these workers may be different. So it is not a homogeneous. Homogeneous means same. So it is a heterogeneous factor. And as far as this labor is concerned, it is easily mobile from one place to another place. See, suppose if you get any employment opportunity to foreign country, easily we can shift. Similarly, the foreigners also they can easily shift from their country to our country. So labor is freely mobile. At the same time, there is a possibility of bargaining power also. How we can use this bargaining power? Sir, we are having this much of qualification and experience. So you give more salary. Like that, we can bargain from other owners. So these are the main characters of labor. Then if you see this capital, it is a passive factor of production. At the same time, it is a man-made factor of production. So we are producing a machinery, we are producing a tool, we are producing a equipment. So it is a man-made product and highly it is mobile also. See, suppose foreigners need some machinery means we can easily export to foreign country. Similarly, we need some equipment from foreign country means we can easily import from foreign country. So this is also possible. And here there is a possibility of getting current sacrifice for future benefit. We need some benefit in the future. For that purpose, just we are sacrificing some amount of money in the present. See, for example, now we are investing 1 lakh rupees for the purchase of a machinery. So this 1 lakh rupees, now you are sacrificing from your account or from your income, you are sacrificing 1 lakh rupees. What is the reason for that? Because in the future, you may receive more benefit from this 1 lakh sacrificing amount. So these are the main features of capital. Then if you see this organization, so we must decide an appropriate location, and here also there is a possibility of some risk as well as uncertainty because the future is uncertain and there are so much of possibilities of risk also because we are expecting some low price or we are expecting some low cost of production, but in the future, we don't know it may increase. Price may increase suddenly or cost may increase suddenly like that. There are so much of risk as well as uncertainty in the organization. Now, let us discuss about the production function. See, production function, it is also very easiest concept. Mainly, production function tells the relationship between input as well as output. See, for example, symbolically, Q is the function of labor, capital, and land, labor, as well as capital. Here, L, labor, N, land, C, capital. See, we can include some other factors also, land, labor, capital, and organization. Like that also we can include. So the concept is, it tells the relationship between input as well as output. And here in this production function, mainly there are three types of production function. One is homogeneous production function. Second one is Cobb-Douglas production function. Third one is CES production function. If you see this homogeneous production function, see an increase in the factors of production leads to the same proportionate increase in the output. It is known as homogeneous production function. Then in the case of Cobb-Douglas production function, actually Cobb is a different person, Douglas is a separate person. They combine together and they study the relationship between input as well as output. So it is considered as a Cobb-Douglas production function. See, the general form of this Cobb-Douglas production function is Q is equal to A L power alpha K power beta. Here Q output, L labor, K capital letter A, alpha, beta. These are positive constants. Then let us discuss about the properties of Cobb-Douglas production function. See, it is a homogeneous production function. The second property is there are constant returns to scale. See, when alpha value plus beta value is equal to 1, it is known as a constant returns to scale. Next property is elasticity of substitution is equal to 1. See, elasticity of substitution in the sense, instead of labor, we can substitute capital also. So it is the substitution rate at which one commodity or one factor can be substituted for another factor. The next property, if any one of the input is zero, output also zero. See, for example, if you see this general form A L power alpha K power beta. Now you assume that labor is zero because any one of the input is zero. So if we substitute zero instead of this labor, the total output also zero. Then we can generalize these to any number of inputs. See here we have included only labor and capital. Instead of that, we can include land as well as organization also. The next one is it fulfills this Euler's theorem. See MP K into K plus MP L into L is equal to RQ. This is the Euler's theorem. This Cobb-Douglas production function fulfills the Euler's theorem also. Then if you see the expansion path, this expansion path is a straight line and it passes through the origin. See, if you see this expansion path, see here you can see some different isopont curves. I see IQ1, IQ2, IQ3 and IQ4 like that we have. See here, if we join all these equilibrium points, we have a straight line. This line is known as expansion path. Always this expansion path is a straight line. At the same time, it begins from the origin. And if you see the importance of this Cobb-Douglas production function, it is suitable to all the industries. So here there are some limitations also because it neglects mainly two factors. And the next one is CES production function. This CES production function, it introduced by Arrow, Chenery, Minhas as well as Solow. So here they have expressed this CES production function in this general form. Q is equal to A alpha K power minus beta plus 1 minus alpha L power minus beta. So here Q total output, K capital, L labor. And alpha capital intensity coefficient, 1 minus alpha labor intensity coefficient. And here also there are some properties. Here the value of elasticity of substitution depends upon the value of substitution parameter. At the same time, if you see the marginal products of labor as well as capital, these values are always positive because here we assume the constant returns to scale. And if the marginal product of an output will increase when other factors inputs increase. The marginal product curve always it slopes downwards, and the estimation of the elasticity of substitution parameter requires the assumptions of perfect competition. If you see the main merits of this CES production function, it is very or it is more general. It covers all the types of return and it is very easy for estimation also. At the same time, there is no unrealistic assumption in here. And if you see the limitations, main limitation is here we are facing the problem of multicollinearity. See, multicollinearity in the sense some relationship among the variables. See, for example, now you take some different variables like income, saving, expenditure like that. You are taking some different variables. If there is a relationship among these variables, it also affects the result. So this problem is considered as a multicollinearity. So students, in today's class, we are discussing about the concept of production function as well as the types of production function. So mainly, what is the meaning of production? Just they are converting all the inputs into the final finished product. It is known as production. What are the types of production function? One is Cobb-Douglas production function. Second one is homogeneous production function. Third one is CES production function. What is production function? It explains the relationship between input as well as output. So the remaining aspect we will discuss in the next class. Thank you, students.